I travel a lot for work. Nothing glamorous, just long drives between small cities installing networking equipment for offices that are always half under renovation. It means cheap hotels, gas station dinners, and a lot of nights sleeping in places that feel temporary. A few months ago, I decided to try something different. Instead of another highway motel, I booked a small Airbnb outside a town in northern Pennsylvania. The listing said quiet countryside cabin, recently renovated. The pictures showed wood walls, warm lighting, and a long gravel driveway surrounded by trees. It looked peaceful. After a 4-hour drive through rain and fog, I finally turned off the highway and followed the GPS down smaller and smaller roads until the pavement ended. The gravel road wound through dense forest for another mile before I saw the cabin. It sat alone in a clearing. One floor, wide front porch, no other houses in sight. The owner had left instructions to let myself in with a keypad on the door. No host greeting, no neighbors nearby, just a short message on the app. Make yourself at home inside. The place was clean, almost too clean. Fresh wood floors, simple furniture, and soft yellow lighting from a few lamps. It smelled faintly like new paint. I dropped my bag by the couch and started walking through the rooms, kitchen, living area, bedroom, bathroom, small place. Quiet enough that I could hear the wind brushing the trees outside. At first, nothing seemed strange. But after a minute, I realized something I couldn't quite place. Something about the place felt incomplete. I walked into the bathroom again. That's when I noticed it. There was no mirror, just a blank wall above the sink. I figured maybe it had fallen or hadn't been installed yet after the renovation. Not a big deal. But then I checked the bedroom. No mirror there either. Not on the closet door. Not on the dresser. I walked back through the cabin slowly. Living room, kitchen, hallway. No mirrors anywhere. At first it just felt like a weird design choice. Minimalist maybe. Still, it stuck in my head. People normally hang mirrors everywhere, bathrooms, hallways, bedrooms. But this place had none. I opened the Airbnb listing again on my phone and scrolled through the photos. Something odd jumped out. Every photo angle avoided reflective surfaces. No bathroom pictures from straight on. No dresser shots. Even the windows were photographed at angles that didn't show reflections. It felt deliberate. I shrugged it off and started unpacking. By the time it got dark, the woods outside had turned completely black. No streetlights. No distant houses. Just the cabin lights glowing against the trees. I made some microwave food and sat on the couch watching videos on my phone. That's when I heard the first sound. A soft thump from somewhere in the house. Not loud, just something shifting slightly. Old cabins make noise sometimes, especially in the wind, so I didn't think much of it. Until it happened again, thump. This time it sounded like it came from the hallway. I paused the video and listened. The cabin went quiet again. After a minute I stood up and walked down the hallway toward the bedroom. The floor creaked under my weight. Everything looked normal. Bed made. Window closed. Closet door slightly open. Nothing out of place. Still, the air felt different somehow, like the room had been occupied a second ago. I told myself I was being paranoid. But as I walked back into the living room, another thought crept in. Without mirrors, you never see your own reflection. You never catch movement behind you. You only see what's directly in front of you. That night I slept badly. Every small sound woke me up. Wind against the walls, branches brushing the roof, the occasional creak of wood settling. Around 2:30 in the morning, I woke suddenly. No sound this time, just a feeling. You know that sensation when you're sure someone else is in the room. That quiet pressure in the air. I stayed completely still in the bed, staring at the dark ceiling. The hallway light outside the bedroom cast a faint glow through the open door. Nothing moved. After a minute, I sat up and grabbed my phone to check the time. The screen lit up the room briefly, and for a split second, I thought I saw movement near the closet. Not clearly, just a shift of darkness. I got out of bed slowly and walked toward it. The closet door creaked open further as I pushed it. Empty. Just a few hangers and extra blankets. I laughed quietly to myself, the way people do when they're trying to push away a bad feeling. Then I noticed something else. The bedroom window. It faced the side of the house, and in the glass, with the lights behind me, I could see a faint reflection, my own silhouette, but the shape looked wrong, like my shoulders were slightly broader, and my head tilted at a different angle than mine. I stepped closer. The reflection adjusted, perfectly matching me now. I stared at it for several seconds before finally turning away. My heart was beating faster than it should have been. I went back to bed, but I didn't sleep again that night. In the morning, the cabin looked completely normal again. Sunlight through the windows, birds in the trees. The anxiety from the night before felt irrational. Still, something kept bothering me. I opened the Airbnb listing again. Then I checked the host profile. The account had no profile picture, just a name and a few other properties listed in different rural areas. All of them had the same description style: quiet, minimalist, private. And then I noticed something buried in the reviews. One comment from almost a year earlier. Most of the reviews were positive, talking about peaceful stays and clean spaces. But this one review was short. Place was fine, but something felt wrong. Hard to explain. Left early. The host had replied politely beneath it. Sorry you felt uncomfortable. That was it. I closed the app and walked around the cabin again, looking more carefully this time. That's when I noticed the door in the hallway. I was sure it hadn't been there before. A narrow wooden door, almost blending into the wall paneling. No handle, just a small recessed latch. I pulled it open. Behind it was a narrow staircase going down into darkness. A basement. Cold air drifted up from below. I grabbed my phone flashlight and started down the steps. The basement was unfinished. Concrete floor, exposed beams, and a faint smell of damp wood. But what caught my attention immediately was the far wall. It was covered in mirrors. Dozens of them, different shapes and sizes. Bathroom mirrors, closet mirrors, large decorative ones, all facing inward toward the center of the room. I stepped closer and realized they weren't arranged randomly. They were positioned carefully, so that every mirror reflected the others, creating endless repeating angles. Standing in the middle of the room, you could see yourself from every direction. Except I wasn't alone in the reflections. At first I thought it was just the distortion of angles, mirrors bouncing reflections off other mirrors. But as I turned slowly, the images didn't move exactly when I did. Some reflections lagged slightly behind. Others moved before I did, like echoes or rehearsals. Then one of them stepped forward, not physically, just in the reflection. In one mirror, the version of me standing there leaned closer to the glass, its face almost touching the surface. But I hadn't moved. I felt the cold realization crawl up my spine. The cabin had no mirrors upstairs for a reason. They were all down here, watching, recording, studying. And then I noticed something worse. In several mirrors, the version of me standing in the center of the room wasn't alone. There was another figure behind me, tall, perfectly still, standing just outside the circle of light. I turned around instantly. The basement was empty, but when I looked back at the mirrors, the figure was gone, except in one. In that mirror, it was standing closer now, and the reflection of me in that mirror wasn't turning toward it. He was already looking directly at it, like he had been expecting it. Then slowly the reflection of me smiled. I didn't, but the mirror version did. And behind that smiling reflection, the tall figure reached out and placed a hand on his shoulder. I ran upstairs after that, packed my bag in under a minute, and drove away without even locking the door. I didn't report the place. I didn't leave a review. I just told myself it was stress, lack of sleep, weird lighting, and mirror angles. But 2 weeks later, I opened my Airbnb account again, just to check something. The host had messaged me, a short, polite message. Thank you for staying. We hope you enjoyed the mirrors. I never mentioned mirrors in my review or in any messages. And the worst part, attached below the message was a photo, a picture of the basement mirror room, taken from behind, showing someone standing in the center, looking into the reflections. It was me, except the timestamp on the photo was from 3 days ago, and I was already home by then. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and share it to your friends. Don't forget to subscribe or follow for more.